Good day, sir. I am Minsan Sibaring BSS2 F3 under OOP1 under Sir J. Vencerato. And this is my code for my LA Activity 5, which is the GUI. And the first thing that I will be explaining here is my code in leap year GUI, which is this one, the Java code. Here in my leap year GUI, I have just extended the JFrame, and this fields here are just basically pre-implemented the time, and the time we will be inputting some of the swings here, or the palette here. So whenever we add a palette here, it will just basically add it in our fields, and whenever we rename it, it will just basically be updated, and it as the coach I'm instructed, I have just followed the instruction. We named it TF year, button checker, and this one was not supposed to be there, but I just don't want to destroy the program, so just keep it there. So after that one, I have make a constructor leap year, and inside my constructor, I have made a button checker, so that that button checker, well, it represents our button. So this one was the button, and then that button that add action, we have used a method so that whenever we click the button, or whenever we have a action, we will be performing the add I mean the action perform action event E, but the E is not really utilized here, so we will just be implementing this one whenever we have clicked the icon, the action. So this is the button, as what I have mentioned. This is the button, and then we will be implementing this here. The first thing that we did was since the TF that year, this is our input here. This is the TF that year. Since this is a text, we get the text out of it, and then we have parse it in our integer parse interrupter, and then store that value into the year. And our year calculator, we have calculate if it is a leap year or not a leap year. Then depending on the case, we will be printing a leap year or not. And for our exception, number format exception, we just basically need to, whenever we type a incorrect output, it just basically print in input must be a number. So that's it for my code. And for the main, I have just set this one. We have just initialize the app, set the content app as the app panel, or this one, this is the app panel. And we have set the title to leap year checker, and then set the size of 500 to 700, set the full close operation, and then set visible to true. So this is for my leap year. And now for my simple calculator. So this is the code for my simple calculator. Just the same as then, I have extended the JFrame. And all of this stuff was just pre-labeled based on our panel here. So I have just followed this one TF number 1, 2 CB operation, which is combo back operation, button compute, and LBL result, which will print our result. I have just followed the instruction as what our code chum is instructed in our code chum. And in my simple GUI calculator class, I have a constructor which will basically at the first at the first opening of the constructor, it will, what's this? I don't know what's this. Okay. The first thing that we need our constructor will do is to try this thing. So what we did here was the button compute. Whenever there is a computation with that one, we will just be implementing this one. And what is this one? So what I did here was our CB operation, since combo box is guaranteed that you get only one item to perform, to select, just like this one. This is the combo box, and then there is only guaranteed that any of this item is chosen. So if it is selected, as well as if it is selected, get the selected item, which is one of those that I have shown, and then convert that to string, and then that string I have stored that one into operation, and then either of this one, either plus, minus, divide, and multiplication, which will be shown here, either of this one. Then depending on this action, it will just basically print all of this. calculate any of this. So just like what I have did, I have get the get text of the TF number 1, which is our input 1 and input 2. And then after they are just basically the same. I have get the text and then parse the text into our integer using a integer that parse int. This is our wrapper. And we have stored that our value to A, as well as I have also stored the B value. And then the result will be we'll be adding that one since our operation is addition, and then we'll be printing our result here, which is the LB result. Not, uh, okay. And then at the end, we'll be printing our result. Not printing the result, but we'll be inputting our result to the LBL result text. We'll be setting the text to to our value here, which is the result. So since result is a string and we will be setting the text, we have converted again from integer to string, which is integer to string. We have converted this one to a string. And then, yeah, that's all. It will be inputted as a text again here in our LBL result field. What is this field again? This is a JText field. So after that one, they are just all the same implementation over here. The only and then there is a catch method for any of those, and then for example, number format exception. So whenever you have inputted a different kind of not understandable, the input must be a number or field must have an input. So any of those two. And the only difference is that whenever we have divided a 0, so here in our division, whenever we divide a 0, there is this one, and then we divide it by 0, then the result it cannot be divided by 0, and then yeah, that is my catch error here. I should not have the finally here. Okay, so that's it for my code. So that's it for my code. Add number, if we're able to add number, let's say 5 plus 5, compute the result, and then divide by 0, 10 cannot divide by 0. Yeah, that is my code for my simple calculator. Then for my food ordering, I was just going to explain this. Alright, since these are all pre-implemented and I have just based this one on the code chunk, the next thing that I will be going to explain in my code here was just I have created a constructor, and in our constructor I have created a menu, which is this menu is a checkboxes, and then the discount are a radio button. Radio button. So all our radio button, I have added that one to our discount so that later on I would be able to iterate and check any of those if it was selected or not. We'll be using for each here. So our menu was J checkbox, and then we have added that one in our checkbox so that we'll be able to check each of one of that one later. So after that one, after creating our discount radio button list, as well as J checkbox list menu, we have initiated the new menu, as well as also new discount array list. Then after that one, since this is inside our constructor, FoodGUI constructor, every time that we happen to click the button order, so the button order was this one. Whenever we click the button order, we'll be implementing the buy, and then if there are any errors, you must order. I have only found one error, which is if you will not order in any of our meal. For example, like this, I have not ordered, so therefore you must order. This is the exception that I am seeing. So after this one, I will just skip this one since this is already understandable. After this one, the buy method, the buy method that we have implemented in our food ordering GUI is this one, which is the buy. And in our buy method, I have used a double since it has a two decimal places here, two decimal places. If I will try to check here, two decimal places, 55.00, that has two decimal places. So I have used a double so that we'll be able to store our calculations here. And then we'll be able to perform calculations that has two decimal places. And then we also have no selection, which will just basically check if we don't have any selection. And then if there is no selection, then you must order. So here in our checkbox, we have just iterate for using our for each. And then if our checkbox is selected, and then if any of those is any of these items, then we'll just be adding that one depending on the price. And then after that one, for example, we have selected the T, which is a price of 50. The total will be equal to 50, and the selection will be 1. So for instance, we have a 50 total, and then for this one we have a RB 10% discount. So our total is equal to 50 minus total times 1 is equal to 10. So our total will equal to 40, and this will just basically, so this our program here is just iterating to the discount, which is the radio button, and all our radio button is, if any of that is equal to RB5, RB10, or RB15, then we'll be calculating if calculating whatever the result will be. And then if there is no selection, if there is no selection, as what I have mentioned, if there are no selection, but in our case, since we have a selection, it will just basically print the total price. But if there are no selections, then it will throw a new null pointer exception, which will print you must order because you don't have any selection. So in our J message dialog here, since whenever we print our result in our panel, and whenever we print that one, we only get one decimal place. We only get 40.0. So what we did here was, instead of getting the 40.0, is we have added a string that format so that we will be able to use the placeholder here, so that we will be able to get how many decimals we would like to see. And in this case, we have inputted this one as 0.2, and then F as a symbol placeholder for doubles, since our total is doubles. So that is for my code, and as you can see, it is working fine. You would be able to get no discount, still 85% discount, 10% discount, which should be 88, this should be 72, and then 15% discount. And then let's try to check each of this. Yeah, they all have different price. So this is for our code, and thank you so much. This is my LAB5 activity GUI, and the last activity for our OOP. I am Winston Sibaring, under Sir J. Vincerato, OOP 1 F3. So that's my code. Thank you so much.